Hey guys, we're here to show you how we transformed this front entryway with a new fiberglass double door unit from MaxCraft. MaxCraft specializes in retrofit double doors for the front of your home. They offer many styles and options, including different glass options for people that want to keep their home more private. Watch till the end to see this amazing transformation. After prepping the floor with floor protection, we start by cutting the caulk joint along the interior casings at the door jamb and drywall. We carefully use a hammer to drive a pry bar between the jamb and casing to allow us to pry the casing away from the wall for removal. Here we start the removal of the existing doorknob and deadbolt. Sometimes we save these for installation onto the new door, while other times the customer provides a new lock set for us to install. Now we use a punch and hammer to drive the hinge pins out of the hinges to allow the removal of the door panel. Once we get the hinge pins started, we use a small wonder bar and hammer to remove them completely. After all 3 pins are removed, the door panel can be separated from the door jamb. By removing the door panel from the jamb, it allows for easier access between the interior and exterior of the home for the remainder of the removal process. Next, we use a large pry bar and hammer to pull of the exterior casings. In this case, brick molding was the exterior casing. This door was in stone and no sealant was surrounding the brick molding. If the door on a wall where siding is used, it is important that you use a razor knife to cut the caulking joint between the brick molding and siding before you start to pry. This ensures you do not damage any siding. Also, before removing the exterior casings, be sure to remove any doorbell buttons. These should be saved and reinstalled onto the new door's casings. Here we are using a reciprocating saw to cut between the old door frame and rough opening. This is where any nails or screws were installed to hold the original door frame. Cutting along both sides and top makes removing the frame a breeze. Make sure to use caution near any doorbell wiring or alarm wiring that may be present. Once you have cut down both sides and along the top, you can take a large pry bar and wedge between the door jamb and rough opening. You will do this so you can apply pressure outward to push the old door frame out of the rough opening. This may still take a little effort depending on how tight the rough opening is or how much foam insulation was installed. Also, extra hands would be helpful for this step. Even though the unit may not be heavy, it will be awkward to try and handle by yourself. After cleaning up the rough opening and surrounding area, you will want to prep the rough opening for the new door unit. This door unit is under a large porch and the original house wrap was still intact. We did add some flashing tape in the corners for added protection before applying a generous amount of sealant along the bottom of the rough opening. After applying the sealant, we set the frame into the rough opening and started to check for level. Once we checked for level, we temporarily installed some screws in the hinges to keep the frame from moving. Then we bring in the door panels and install them back onto the frame and start installing shims and securing the door unit with screws. We check the operation of the doors and the margins and reveals before using an oscillating tool to cut the shims flush with the drywall and door jamb. Now it's time to apply a low expansion spray foam around the perimeter of the door. The exterior casings are not applied to the door frame yet, so we applied the spray foam from the exterior side. However, if your door already has exterior casing, you can install the foam from the interior side if needed. Here we have cut the new brick molding to length and start assembling it with screws at each miter. Meanwhile, another installer is starting to install the door hardware. Now it's time to nail on the exterior casings. Remember, this particular door was in stone and there was no sealant between the door and stone? Before nailing on the exterior brick molding, we back caulked along the sheathing where the stone starts with a clear sealant. This ensures that the brick molding is sealed where it meets the stone. After we trim out the exterior, it's now to work on the interior. We cut each vertical interior casing and start nailing it onto the frame and drywall. After those are installed, we cut and install the top piece as well as add a trim piece along the bottom from the threshold to the floor as well. Once everything is trimmed out, it's time for caulking. We caulk all the joints along the exterior as well as the interior with a high-quality paintable sealant. And just like that, it's time to clean up. We wipe down the glass, pull up floor coverings and sweep the floors. Here is the final product once our installation is complete. What a transformation this MaxCraft door unit makes. While we do not paint, here is the doors after the homeowner had them painted. Thanks for watching.